So with the market falling, I'm getting a lot of questions from people asking, what should I do? What the heck should I do while everything's falling because of these tariffs? Now that the tariffs are being rescinded, do I get back in? What is going on here? So I thought this would be a good opportunity to kind of talk about how recessions work, why they happen, and then give some ideas of what to do right now. So the real reason the stock market is falling isn't because of the tariffs. The reason why the stock market's falling is because it was just overvalued. So the market has been overvalued since November. I noticed it because I monitor a basket of stocks that I believe are really good companies, but I monitor their prices. So I reassess their intrinsic value every quarter when they release their earnings, and then assess the price from there. So once a stock goes too high from its intrinsic value, based on this model I do, I'm confident that in the next 2 years, there's only so much they can make. Or in this situation, in the next 2 years, they're likely going to be either stagnant or they're going to drop a little bit. In November, I realized everything was overvalued. So I made a plan that comes, the first trading session of January, I was just going to sell everything. The reason why I did that was just so that I can push my earnings for my tax purpose into the next fiscal year. So I did that. I thought nothing of it. I didn't think there was really going to be a big problem at all. I just thought there was going to be some slushiness, some instability, and then the tariffs came out. And so one of the big problems is that just because people are saying a certain thing isn't the reason why the market is falling. This happens time and time again, where a story comes up and it sounds really good, and then everyone reports that, oh yeah, the market is collapsing or falling or going up because of XYZ. And that's not really what's going on. It's much more complex than that, but also it's maybe a part of it, but it's not like the reason why it's happening. So if you go back in time, you'll see that the market was already falling before these tariffs really took hold. People will say, oh, well, it's because our president was talking about it, so, that's why the market started getting strange about it. Well, no. The market was realizing that the stock market was overvalued, so they started selling. So then the tariffs hit and there's a big drop, right? So if the stock market was undervalued, after that drop, then there would have been a snapback. Maybe not to where it was, but it would have snapped back. And it really didn't. It keeps on falling. And again, that's because of the fact that the stock market is overvalued, and then add on these tariffs that are occurring. So I think in general, when it comes to politicians and the US government, this is only for the US government, you have to understand something about how the market reacts to policy and to government officials. Government cannot make the economy better. They can't. They really cannot. No one can do that. Our economy is way too complex. Like a CEO can barely do it. It's so, even one company is so complex. There's so many factors that can really affect it. So they really can't make it better. There's always a trade-off when it comes to that. If they are going to invest, they're going to raise our debt, which is going to cause other issues with interest rates. If they don't do anything, then those investments didn't happen, and you have to rely on the free markets. It really comes from innovation and our economy to spur growth. This will probably sound too idealistic to people, but it's the people, the US people in the system that really spur growth, from the entrepreneurs to the managers to the workers to everybody. We have to be the ones that do it. Now, the government can screw it up. They could really screw it up. Don't get me wrong. You could just have some blatantly bad policies, or actually more worrisome would be where the whole legal system's disrupted for some reason. Like if a coup happened, that would just completely destroy our economy, because the whole system's based on a set of rules. That's the only reason why people have assets, is because there's rules behind it. So they could totally screw it up. but they can't really make it better. They don't have the knowledge. Like no president could figure out all these 11 different sectors, If you got a tech mogul in there, that's great, but they have no idea how to take care of the medical sector or the material sector. Like, how does that all work? They would really just mess with things in ways that could just screw it up more. So the best thing is to just really put into place a good system that makes it fair for people to interact with the economy. That's really what you need from the government, and then just leave it alone. Initiatives are good. Initiatives are helpful. Government spending does spur economic growth. Don't get me wrong with that. I get the Keynesian economics and all that. But in terms of policy and direction from an individual government, they really can't do much. They're just adding or subtracting. It needs to come from the innovation of the people. So now that I'm off my bandwagon, what should you do as a retail investor, a new investor that really doesn't pay enough attention, but is noticing their 401k falling? The safe answer to you is really you should dollar cost average right now. Just keep investing. You keep investing through the bottom, and then you'll be great as it goes up. If you look back in history, these big chasms of drops are nothing but a drop in water to what the future can hold, and I strongly believe that's going to continue. The U.S. economy has no reason not to continue growing. You'll be shocked where it goes in the next 30 years. All this stuff about space exploration and space mining sounds like fantasy right now, but as time goes on, either that or AI revolutions or whatever the hype is now, it'll get refined and useful in the future to be what spurs our next growth. So just, I think investing into the future will be fine. Now, in a more detailed level, what to do, you really are, what I've noticed now is that I look at all the stocks I monitor, they're getting a little juicy now. They're getting pretty good. You don't want to be a tuna. You want to be a shark right now. You should be hungry for some blood. As capitulation occurs, you need to look around for these opportunities to grab. What I've learned the hard way is once my data shows something, I need to just take a deep breath and just relax. And I wait about 6 weeks. 6 weeks. Because I've noticed that my calculations are showing logic, but the market doesn't care about that in the short term. It's going to do what it's wanting to do. So 6 weeks, I've noticed, is about how much time the market needs to really process its emotions to be able to do the right thing and get back to logic. So in about 6 weeks from now, it's mid-April right now, that's when me personally, I'll probably start looking into taking significant positions in the stocks that I like because they're in the right valuation. Will the stock market fall more? I don't know. I have no idea. Something else more chaotic could occur, but that's what I'm seeing based on the data, that the intrinsic values are getting more healthy now, and the stock market needs to really process its emotions, and then after it's done with that, I would be interested in investing more. So if you like this insight, please subscribe to our channel, and then we monitor all the people on the internet that are giving you stock ideas, and we actually have them all compete against each other at stockbossup.com. Check that out. There's a lot of good ideas, a lot of people that are under the radar that you should be listening to because they have really good insight, really good in-depth analysis, but the YouTube algorithm doesn't care about that. They just want the hype. They want the stuff that people are going to get engaged with, not the stuff that's going to help them make money. So Stock Boss Up has reprocessed everything so that it's really the best YouTubers that are giving really good insight that go to the top because we're having them compete with each other. Check it out. Thanks for listening.